Good morning, everybody. How are you? I'm super excited about today's show because we are taking a trip around the world. And boy, oh boy, do we have some fun recipes that you're absolutely going to love. We've got German potato salad that we're making today. And this recipe you do in the oven. So it's in the oven right now. I can hardly wait. I love German potato salad with that bacon and all that good stuff goes perfect with, for all those, grill outs, cookouts, that kind of thing. We're doing Italian. We're doing Cuban. We're doing Thai, so you name it. We've got a bunch of fun new recipes I think you're really going to love, and we're going to start out with a new fun recipe, especially if you get bored with those same old chicken recipes, which I do a lot of chicken in our house, so I'm always looking for new, fun, different ways to do it. Here's a new one for you. It's a trip to India. We're doing Indian chicken kebabs with a mint yogurt sauce. Perfect for the grill. You can even grill them inside. Lots of flavor, not too spicy. So sip of coffee, and I better get to work. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get these kebabs, which have been marinating overnight. Look at these. Aren't they beautiful? Onto the grill. And I've just heated up and oiled my grill pan, but of course you can do them on your outdoor grill too. And they smell absolutely amazing. So I'm going to get those grilling. Don't want to overcrowd because then they won't get some nice color. And I'm going to talk about what they've been marinating in and show you how to marinate them. Indian food, I think people are afraid of it because they think, oh, too spicy. Well, Indian food actually has a lot of spices in it, but it's not really spicy as in hot. Now, of course, you can get it that way, if you order at a restaurant and you want it really spicy, but it's just full of flavor and different flavors that you probably, don't have a lot, and that's why it's kind of fun. So we're going to start out with a great yogurt marinade, and this is going to make this chicken, the kebabs, not only give it lots of flavor, just make it really tender and juicy and wonderful. So we've got 3/4 of a cup of plain yogurt. You could also use Greek plain yogurt. And actually, if you're going to buy it, you might as well just buy the Greek plain yogurt because we're going to use that to make the dip. So then you don't have to buy 2 different containers of yogurt. So plain Greek yogurt works great. I've got the juice of about 1 lemon, and this seems nice and juicy. Juices easily, I guess I should say. I was going to throw it in the microwave for a second if it needed it, but actually looks great. And if the seeds get in there, that's okay because it's just a marinade. We're not going to be chomping down on this, so don't worry about that. Okay, so lemon juice and yogurt. We're going to add a little bit of spice, but this is optional. You could leave it out. And, to be honest, these jalapeno peppers actually are a lot tamer than they used to be. So they actually add a lot of flavor and just a little bit of heat. And especially if you don't use the seeds, I'm just going to finely dice this pepper up. If you don't, like I say, want that heat, just leave them out. Not a big deal at all. So I happen to love jalapeno peppers. Oh, Deb, how good does that smell?
It smells wonderful.
I know it. What you been up to lately? You been doing some fishing?
We have.
Have you?
We have been doing, and we've been catching.
Have you? Very cool. When's the fish fry?
This weekend.
All right. So I'm going to get my jalapeno pepper in there. Lemon juice, jalapeno pepper. We need some garlic, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. That was a big jalapeno pepper, so the recipe calls for a couple of jalapeno peppers, but that was such a big one that one will do it. And I'm just going to give my garlic a whack with the back of my knife and just kind of rough chop it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, it's a marinade, so it's not like we're going to be eating this as far as, eating the marinade itself. So bottom line, doesn't have to be all finely diced and perfect. So get it in there. Oh, it smells good. Just want to check on my kebabs and see if they need a little turning. They're getting there. Got a little bit more to go. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that color. And you know they're ready to flip when they kind of release easy from the pan. So those have a little bit more time. I'm going to do a little bit of fresh ginger. So as you can see, we're talking about all these different spices that you just normally don't use a lot of. And we're going to use some others that you may have never used before. So that's why Indian food just kind of tastes, it's so fun because it's just so different. All right, I'm going to take a microplane and just kind of use that to grate up some of this ginger. The recipe calls for about a tablespoon of fresh ginger. This stuff also comes in a jar and in a tube. But I always get questions. Okay, so got this big piece of fresh ginger. This guy here kind of looks kind of scary, but it's nothing like it. It smells so good. What do you do with it? Well, of course, you can wrap it up and keep it in your fridge, and it'll keep for a couple weeks. But if you wrap it up and keep it in your freezer, it'll keep for a couple months. So that's a great way to, if you're going to be cooking with fresh ginger. But you can also buy a much smaller piece of it than that. Okay, now we're going to add some spices that are really going to give this dish some color. So I've got 1 teaspoon of turmeric. That's probably something you haven't used a lot of, and that's what makes that yellow color. I've also got some cumin, that smoky flavor, a little bit of salt, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. So that's the marinade that's going to go over this chicken. Get back to my kabobs quick. Oh, it's starting to smell so good. Those pretty grill marks. And I've got some oil here in case I needed to brush those kabobs with a little bit of olive oil. This kind of helps with the cooking and the browning. Okay, so this marinade goes over the chicken breasts, and I happen to use about 6 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, 4 to 6, depending how big they are, depending how many people you're going to feed. And then I cut the chicken breasts into about 1 to 2 inch pieces. Pour that marinade right over that chicken. And the longer you marinate, the more flavor you're going to get. So, if you just have an hour, that's okay. If you have a few hours, it's even better. If you have overnight, even better. So up to overnight, you're really going to get that flavor. So let's say you're having a cookout, do this the day before. Have it all covered in your refrigerator or in a Ziploc bag, and really that flavor is going to get into that chicken and just make it so, so tasty. And then when you're ready to grill, right before you're grilling, so we'll get that into the refrigerator, you basically take some wooden skewers or metal skewers and just thread that marinated chicken onto the skewers, and that's where we are at this point. That just grilling, it's a pretty quick grill. We're just waiting for that chicken to cook all the way through. So we're talking, 5 to 10 minutes before this chicken is done. So very, very quick. And because they're small pieces of chicken, they're going to cook a lot quicker. So, you can have them all done, already on the kabobs, all set aside, and just, before serving, grill them off real quick. Now, the other thing that's going to make this dish so special is we've got all these great spices with the Indian kabobs, is we're going to make a quick yogurt mint dip. So back to the yogurt again. This is the same. This is the Greek yogurt, 3/4 of a cup. And I just want to show you. This used to be kind of hard to find in our area. Not anymore. Picked this right up at Festival. It looks like sour cream. And so that's why it makes such a good dip. It just, very, very thick, creamy, but actually good for you. Lots of protein and all that kind of good stuff. So it makes a great substitute for sour cream. A little bit of salt and pepper. And then we're going to do some fresh mint. So the way I do it is I kind of do it like basil. I just take some of the leaves. And the dips certainly make a head. This is one of those where, you know, just like if you were making some sort of a veggie dip, you know, for vegetables, if you can make it a good few hours or even the day in advance, that flavor really gets in there. So, you know, if you're entertaining and, you know, do a lot of that in the summer, get as much as you can done ahead of time. Get those kabobs marinating, get the dip ready. I'm just going to kind of roll those mint leaves up best I can. And this is called, kind of roll them up like a cigar, chiffonade. Just get those really pretty ribbons of mint. And then some lemon or some lime juice. I thought some lime juice would be kind of nice. And that's just going to be the kind of the cool that's going to go really nicely with the little bit of spice that's in those kabobs. So mix that all together. Real simple dip. Very cool and refreshing. And then I've got a real pretty platter. Get that cool minty lime yogurt dip in there. I'm all about dipping. Big fan of the dip. Let's check on our kabobs. And that's the fun. You know, I would love to take a trip around the world. I really would. And there are so many countries I'd like to visit, and they're on my bucket list, and Bob and I will get there one of these days. But right now, you know, my job is here, and, you know, helping people cook new and different food and raising my kids. So, you know, we just can't travel like we'd like to, but we're going to. So, but you know what? You can do that with the food that you prepare, and, you know, different themed dinner parties, or just even for your family. Do some fun different foods from around the world. So that's how I kind of go around the world, is just through my food. All right, these look done. Beautiful, nice and brown. And then they've got that, oh, that marinade just gives them the most gorgeous color. Make a great hors d'oeuvre, or really a great main course. They're nice and light and healthy. Serve those maybe on a bed of couscous. Maybe garnish with a little bit of fresh mint. And there you go. It's my Indian kabobs. You can find the recipe at our website. You can also pick it up at any Festival Foods.